Last 10 years, some of the greatest moments in all of sports happened right here on Fox.
Rips one, goodbye! Rocket homers in his final All-Star game.
This is a presentation of Fox Sports, celebrating 10 years of excellence.
Walking around with his headphones blaring, alone in his own zone, cold, he don't care. There's no control, he just lets his emotions go. That's why we seize the moment, try to freeze it and own it, squeeze it and hold it. We consider these minutes golden, but maybe they'll admit it when we're gone. Just let our spirits live on through our lyrics that you hear in our songs, and we can.
Tonight on Fox, a history-changing event. But will it be for the Red Sox or the A's? It's all going according to plan for Boston. They packed early Sunday for a trip to the West Coast. But it's the A's who are carrying the heavy psychological baggage now. 4 outs away from another postseason flop, the Green Monster reared its ugly head, not the wall. The Oakland Green goes to horrific history. The A's get no sympathy from the Red Sox. We're talking 85 years of frustration that carried them from the brink of extinction to this. Welcome.
Brought to you by 30secondupdate.com. A new study shows that teens who smoke cigarettes are 14 times likelier to try marijuana than their non-smoking peers. The study by the American Legacy Foundation indicates that 60% of teens who use marijuana repeatedly started by smoking cigarettes.
There is no doubt that cigarette smoking is a critical marker for intervention in the use of marijuana and of other drugs.
For more information, stay with FoxNet.
It is a beautiful night and a huge crowd on hand at Network Associates Coliseum in Oakland, California. For the second straight night here on Fox, a decisive Game 5. We're in the American League Division Series, where the Oakland A's won the first 2 games of this set at home, only to lose 2 in a row at Fenway Park in Boston. And a pleasant good evening to you alongside Steve Lyons. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome to Playoff Baseball right here on Fox. Steve, tonight, something's got to give. You know about the Red Sox, the curse of the Bambino. The Oakland A's, meanwhile, their last 8 postseason games where they had a chance to clinch a series, they've lost them. And you talk about pitching matchups, let's start with Pedro Martinez.
Well, in a pressure situation, the Boston Red Sox organization, maybe down through their entire history, would not rather send anybody else to the mound but that man right there, Pedro Martinez. The worry with Pedro, he threw 130 pitches in his last start, but I looked up some numbers on that. He's a small guy, but in 9 starts, after he's thrown 125 pitches, he's 6-1 with a 1.69 ERA. There's nothing to worry about with Pedro.
Well, clearly, Oakland manager Ken Maka is not worried about his left-handed ace, Barry Zito, coming back on 3 days rest. Zito has never done that before.
Barry Zito doesn't care at all. He's not a guy that you worry about tiring out. He throws in the low 90s at best. He's got that big curveball. The concern in today's ball game, if you're the Red Sox, is the fact that the shadows will come into play a little bit later in this game. I think that affects a guy who throws a big breaking ball better than anybody else in the game. It's much tougher to see that curveball coming out of the showers than it is any other pitch. And Barry Zito's got that, but he doesn't care. He doesn't even remember the last time that he took the ball. It's Game 5, and he's ready to go.
What a wild, wacky series this has been. And some game-ending heroics. Ramon Hernandez with a stunning bunt single to win Game 1 in extra innings. In Game 3, Trot Nixon, the first postseason walk-off home run since Kirk Gibson of the Dodgers. And then, bottom of the 8th inning, David Ortiz, his first hit of the series, knocking in 2. Game 5 next on Fox. The Division Series on Fox brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. By Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. And by Gillette Mach 3 Turbo for the closest shave with less irritation, even against the grain. Picture perfect night here at Network Associates Coliseum in Oakland. And we're set to go game 5. Barry Zito and the A's against Pedro Martinez and the Red Sox. First pitch fastball to Johnny Damon, strike 1, and we are underway. Damon 5 of 17 in the series with a home run, 3 batted in, has 1 stolen base. This has been a pitching dominated series. The Red Sox, the highest scoring team in the major leagues during the regular year, scored 13 runs. The Athletics, who struggled with their offense all year, have scored 15. They appeal down to third, and no, says Eric Cooper. Damon did not go around, and the former Athletic ahead in the count, 2-1. Zito, a 14-game winner during the regular season. Ball driven into deep left center field, and going back to get it is Guillen. Take a look at Grady Little's starting lineup. Nomar Garciaparra coming up at short. Todd Walker in the 3-hole at second. Manny Ramirez in left field. David Ortiz at DH. Kevin Millar at first. The latter third of Bill Miller, the American League batting champion this season. Trot Nixon in right. Jason Varitek behind the plate.
Take a look at the postseason career numbers for Barry Zito. Very, very good. Of course, the Cy Young Award winner last year. Did not get the run support this season.
Jam shot roller off the bat of Milmar, and Tejada will throw out.
Check out the scouting report on Zito. 12-6. That is a big breaking ball. If you look at the face of the clock, that's where it goes. Starts out at number 12, ends at 6. He will spot his fastball in and out, and a lot of times likes to pitch backwards. In fastball counts, you're going to be seeing breaking balls.
Now Todd Walker, he has 3 home runs in the series, 5 hits overall, and 14 at bats, 4 runs batted in. He only hit 13 home runs during the regular year. The 3 home runs in this series ties Walker with John Valentin and Nomar Garciaparra for most home runs in a single division series. Rolled over foul.
Walker went through a period in July and August where he hit .210 with just 2 homers and 23 RBIs. He said he's hit the ball pretty well all season long, but he hit a lot of atom balls during that period.
Big breaking ball swung on and missed, and Zito, a 1-2-3 opening inning, and Ramon Hernandez didn't know that was a 3rd out. Bottom half of the first inning, Athletics coming to bat. Ken Macha's starting lineup. Mark Ellis at second base. Rubiel Durazo, the DH. Eric Chavez at third. Chavez only 1 hit in the series, likewise for Miguel Tejada. Scott Hatteberg is at first. Jose Guillen in left field. Ramon Hernandez catching. Jermaine Dye in right field. Chris Singleton in center. And Pedro Martinez came over from Montreal in 1997. And the 31-year-old right-hander delivers strike 1. Good breaking ball from Pedro.
How about these two guys going to work right off the get-go? Look at the numbers for Pedro Martinez in his postseason career. Outstanding. Do a little scouting report on Pedro. Repeat delivery. This guy throws 4 pitches, but you can't tell the difference between any of them because of his delivery is exactly the same all the time. He's got that great change, and of course we all know he will pitch inside when he has to.
Grounded to Nomar, 1 away. Let's take a look at the Red Sox defensively. Manny Ramirez, Johnny Damon, and Trot Nixon left, center, and right. Miller and Garciaparra solid on the left side. Walker and Millar on the right, and a battery of Pedro and Jason Varitek. See, the Red Sox have committed 5 errors in this series. It has been a sloppy series for the visiting team in every game of this series.
Had a very tough time for the visiting team to come into the other team's home park and play well. Has not been done, and you're right, sloppy defensively. Weird base running plays. Strange series so far.
Rubio Durazo takes high. 2-0 on Durazo. Came over from the Arizona Diamondbacks in a three-way deal during the offseason. Well, bringing you up to speed on how this series has brought us to this fifth game. Ramon Hernandez, that game-winning bunt single in the 12th inning of Game 1. Barry Zito, the Game 2 winner. The heroics by Nixon and Ortiz, game winners at Fenway.
Look at that pitch, 72 miles an hour. Pedro these days, as you look at the rest of the series and how it played out, Pedro Martinez used to consistently pitch 95 to 97 with his fastball. Grady Little told us today he has improved as a pitcher because he no longer throws that hard. He can reach back and get 95 when he needs it, but he's 89 to 91 for the most part now.
They blew away Durazo there.
With a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. That's not the 97 that Pedro used to whip back and throw it right by guys. He pitches now because look at that. That is 90 painting the outside corner and running away from it.
And you got to believe Pedro against Durazo trying to set the tone in that very first at bat. Durazo got him for that 2-run double in Game 1. Now Chavez. The 3 and 4 hole hitters in this Oakland lineup. And we're not talking about guys that are in the postseason for the first time or the second time or even the third time. It's 4 years in a row now for Chavez and Tejada, and they have struggled and struggled mightily. 0-2. Look at the middle of the lineup, missing in action so far.
Just have not gotten it done in the middle of that lineup. Grady Little in our managers meeting today said, hey, what would you have expected? We are not going to let the middle of that lineup beat us, and they are doing the exact same thing to the 4, 5, 6 hitters in our lineup.
On swinging.
Wow.
Chavez. 1, 2, 3 innings for Zito and Pedro. Pedro Martinez on 4 days rest. A very impressive opening inning. Likewise for the Oakland left-hander Barry Zito on 3 days rest. Manny Ramirez to lead off the Boston second inning, and it's strike one on the outside corner.
Good discipline by Ramirez right there. I look for both teams' hitters to be very aggressive early in the count. Surprise someone, get a fastball early in the count, and try to put it into the seats.
Good breaking ball there, quickly 0-2. You know, we talk so much about the heart of the Oakland order, specifically Chavez and Tejada struggling. Certainly this postseason has been no different, Steve, as you alluded to, for the heart of the order of Boston. The highest scoring team in the major leagues this year. And he jumped all over that 0-2 pitch, yanked it foul. Ramirez, Ortiz, and Millar without a home run, collectively 2 RBIs.
Did you see Hernandez, the way he set up? He wanted that fastball up in the strike zone to Ramirez. Look at the replay. Will not see the replay of that pitch. Right there, there it is. Again, wanting that pitch up. Hernandez standing up. Look at that. Last time I saw a guy stand up that high was, we're walking the guy. 4 pitches, stand up and call the pitch.
And I've never seen that on an 0-2 count. Breaking ball, strike 3. Boy, is that a breaking ball.
You want to see pitching. Check out the pitch count here on a pitch-by-pitch. Zito, first pitch to Ramirez, curveball on the outside corner of the plate, perfect location. Another breaking ball, so nasty. Then they go up twice with fastballs. And then, hey, you know what? That didn't work. Let's go back to our bread and butter. Go sit down.
Now David Ortiz, the hero in the bottom of the 8th inning against Keith Polk yesterday, bringing the series back to Oakland. Ortiz picked the perfect time, to say the least, to get his first hit of this series. Fly ball down the left field line. Ian in foul ground makes a play 2 away. Ian playing with that broken hamate bone in his left hand, his glove hand. But he's out there. This kid loves to play the game.
I talked to Ray Fosse, the announcer for the Oakland A's during the regular season, and he says he doesn't know how he's playing with that. That's a broken hamate bone in the left hand. He can obviously throw, and he's got a cannon for an arm, but how he goes up there and swings the bat dealing with the pain in that hand every time he swings the bat is amazing.
Malloy first pitch swinging, pops it up into short left center field. Singleton is there, and Zito 6 up, 6 down. Now Pedro's turn to try and answer. No score after an inning and a half. The Division Series on Fox brought to you by Chevy Silverado. It's the right truck. By long-lasting Energizer. Do you have the money inside? By Lowe's, where you'll find all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, improving home improvement. And by Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phone. A picture-perfect night in Oakland, and certainly not only the shadows, but the reflection, more importantly, off of the skyboxes in Mount Davis, straight away center field, as Tejada rolls over the first pitch foul. Certainly are a factor at this time of day. There you get a look.
That's the glare back into the Red Sox dugout and back towards home plate. If you are the center and right fielder at this point in the game, you do have the sun staring you right in the face. Trot Nixon actually playing much deeper right now than normal, because he has to battle the sun. He wants to make sure he can come in on balls.
Of course, Johnny Damon played for the Athletics, so he's used to this. 0-2 on Tejada.
Here's where Nixon's playing way out in right field and in the sun.
Breaking ball got away from Pedro there, and Tejada ducks underneath it. No intent there. That was not a fastball.
These guys are pitching so well early on. There's no intent, period. I want to get you out, not hit you.
That was a fastball, up to 93. Tejada 0 for his last 17, which is his longest hitless streak since going 0 for 22 in 1999, making 0 for 18 on the high cheese.
This is classic Pedro. Get ahead, climb the ladder, and just say, if you can hit this thing, go ahead. The four-seam fastball up in the strike zone, you can't hit it.
That ball was by him before he ever brought the bat through the zone.
They're trying to get Tejada to be a little more patient at the plate, but you don't want him to be that patient.
Hatteberg 3 of 15 so far in the series. Hit .253 during the regular year. 12 home runs, 61 runs batted in. Check swing roller down to third. Miller a good defender. 2 away.
Well, pretty good indication. Great shot of Scott Hatteberg right there, squinting into the sun, doing his best Chipper Jones impersonation, and then just unsure. An excuse-me swing, ground ball to third base. Tough to see right now. Might get a little easier in a couple innings, but you're still going to have to face those two pitchers out there.
Now Guillen, who is having a monster year in Cincinnati before coming over to the Athletics. Played in 45 games with the A's. Told you he broke that hamate bone in his hand about a month ago, but has continued to play. .265 batter with Oakland, 8 home runs, 23 knocked in. 1-1. This is the 4th consecutive season the A's have gone to a 5th and deciding game in the division series. Base hit center field. And we told you in the last 8, the A's have lost each of the 8. That includes the 2 games at Fenway in this series.
This is what you have to do against a guy like Pedro. Don't try to muscle up and hit him harder. Stay softer, go up the middle. Nice, easy, level swing right through the hitting zone, and that's pretty hitting right there. Gian now getting out that protective brace for that hamate bone in case he has to slide.
Now Ramon Hernandez. Hernandez has 2 RBIs in this series, and both have given the Athletics the lead, including the game winner in extra innings in game 1. Hernandez, of course, scratched from the starting lineup yesterday with a lower back strain. It was the first postseason game he's missed over the last 4 years. One and one.
93 from Pedro right there, just felt like 98.
He is throwing harder in the game early on here today than he did early in game 1.
Game 5, brother.
Breaking ball on the inside corner, a beauty. Many believe that Pedro Martinez not missed more than a handful of starts due to injury or illness, that those numbers, along with a few more wins, would give him his 4th Cy Young Award this season.
The 14-4 record doesn't look as impressive to voters with the time he missed.
Well, you look at his career since coming to the Boston Red Sox from Montreal. 6-time All-Star. We told you 3-time Cy Young Award winner. And the numbers just gaudy for Pedro Martinez. Hernandez hit on the left hand with that pitch.
They're going to argue that he was trying to swing at that pitch. They're not going to get the call. First base umpire Greg Gibson said no, he's not swinging. If you swing at that pitch and get hit, it's a strike. Up and in. Pedro, in his career, has had a reputation as a headhunter, a reputation of which I totally disagree with. You show me a pitcher that does not pitch inside, and I show you a pitcher that does not win very many games. Listen to the way this sounds. Sometimes when you get hit on the hand, it almost sounds like it hits your back.
Number 24, Jermaine Dye, right field.
Now Jermaine Dye. 2 of 10. But had the big home run at Fenway Park on that hanging breaking ball yesterday. He has 3 runs batted in, missed almost the entire year with a knee injury and a shoulder injury. Only played in 65 games, hit 172, 4 home runs, 20 runs batted in. 2 on, 2 out. First scoring chance for either team. Fastball in there, a strike.
In Boston, Dye hit the 2-run home run to left field on a hanging breaking ball. When he's going good, he hits fastballs into the opposite field gap, hangs out over the plate pretty well, and pulls mistake pitches like the breaking ball that he hit in Boston.
Ground ball to short, should in the inning, and it does. So a base hit, a hit batsman, but Martinez wiggles off the hook. No score at the end of 2. No scores we had for the top half of the 3rd inning. Barry Zito has faced 6 batters, retired all 6. So the latter third coming up for Boston. The American League batting champion Bill Miller to lead things off, only 2 of 16 in this division series. Miller a much better left-handed hitter than right-handed hitter. A little more pop from the right side. Zito breaking ball that drops at the knees for strike 2.
Watch this, Tommy. When this ball breaks that much, when it starts up here and ends down there, where do you pick it out to hit it? Man, that just jelly-legged Miller.
Popped up into short right field. Jermaine Dye near the line, makes the play, one away.
I'll show you that same curveball again, Tom, from behind home plate. A little better idea of what you might be looking at. Watch the elevation of the ball come up out of his hand, and then just, you talk about falling off a table. That's if you took a ball, rolled it across the table, and just rolled straight down to the ground. That's what we mean when you're talking about a 12-6 curveball, the one that Barry Zito has the best in baseball.
Now Trot Nixon getting a start against the left-hander Barry Zito. I think everybody moving around in that dugout, Steve, someone may have thrown something into that dugout.
That's not a dugout you want to get shook up. There's some mean-looking guys in there these days.
And I know you like the makeup of this team a great deal, much more so than Boston teams in years past.
You know, the old 25 guys, 25 cabs reputation of the Boston Red Sox is a distant memory with these guys now. The guy at the plate, Trot Nixon, is one of those guys that's helped change it. Kevin Millar, a newcomer to the team. Millar shaved his head after starting to grow a mullet. After game 2, they lost 2 in a row. He went home and shaved his head in the clubhouse while they were waiting for their luggage. 7 other guys did the same thing. Nixon came back later and said, "It's not short enough, we're going bald."
Short right center field. Singleton will squeeze it tightly for the second out. Watch the left side of your screen. Something comes flying into the Boston dugout that shook everybody up.
Hit somebody right off the side of the head. I don't know who that was. Bill Hasselman maybe took a cup off the side of the head or something. There's a shot of Millar. There's Nixon. He's coming to check on Hasselman to see what happened.
Not good.
It's the penitentiary look, isn't it? You see Hasselman on the left of your screen. Hit him right on the left side of the face. Well, that's just not good. You just don't have the right to throw things when you're at the ballpark.
1-1 to Jason Varitek. Zito working on 3 days rest for the first time in his major league career. And he's retired the first 8 Boston batters, make it the first 9 Boston batters. After 2.5, Zito and Pedro locked up in a scoreless game. Bottom of the 3rd inning we go. Game 5 in this American League Division Series. The winner will advance on to the American League Championship Series to lock up with the New York Yankees. And that series will start regardless of which team is going at Yankee Stadium. We'll have it for you on Wednesday night here on Fox. Steve, you and I are on our way with our entire crew to the Windy City later tonight for Game 1 of a National League Championship Series. It starts at Wrigley Field tomorrow. Breaking ball in there, a strike.
I don't think baseball fans can ask for anything more from what they've seen out of the series so far and what they're about to see the next round.
Foul back out of play, 0-2 to Singleton.
And there was some question as to whether or not the Oakland A's could pull off what they had done in years previous. Such a brilliant second half team, and they did it again this season. Without Giambi, of course, who had moved on. Tejada was struggling. Jermaine Dye out of the lineup, and they still put on their usual second half rush.
Singleton in the Oakland lineup tonight. Good success against Pedro, a .286 career batter with a home run and 3 knocked in. But not going to hit that pitch. 4 strikeout of the game for Martinez. A pleasure to welcome in our 3rd member of the broadcast team for an update on what happened in that Boston dugout. Here's Josh Lewin.
Hey, Tommy, the guys thought at first somebody had fired something in there. Turns out Trot Nixon swings a weighted warm-up bat. The bottom knob of that bat, while he was warming up, flew off, hit Bill Hasselman in the side of the head. Jerry Naron, the bench coach, says he's never seen something like that happen ever.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. At least it wasn't something thrown in there.
That's right.
Josh, thank you very much.
There is the part of that weighted bat. That probably won't be used again.
Or if it is, and then Hasselman's going to go stand somewhere else.
Yeah, along with the rest of the dugout.
1-1 to Mark Ellis, who grounded to short his first time up. No score, last of the third. The only hit of the game by Jose Guillen, a 2-out single to center off Martinez.
There's the glare that we talked about off of the center field visors on the windows out there.
See the reflection off Mark Ellis's helmet.
You can see the reflection off of half of the Red Sox heads when they take their hats off with that new haircut they're all wearing.
Popped up right side. And in foul ground. It's Millar to get it. We invite you to play Hit the Pros, presented by Chevy Silverado. And face real pitches from today's best hurlers. Log on to foxsports.com. Keyword games. Chevy Silverado. It's the right truck. Saw that nickname, the Dakota Kid, for Mark Ellis. He comes from the same little South Dakota city as longtime Oakland A's second baseman Dick Green, a very valuable member of the team's 3 straight World Series title during the 70s. Both hail from Rapid City, South Dakota.
Check Boston. Or ask somebody to check Boston. Yeah, I'll help you out for that.
Maybe he can field a grounder. That bird isn't more than 5 or 6 feet away from Nomar. Just eating away.
Good for him. Got the best seat in the house. Two and one on a Rubiel Durazo, who struck out swinging his first time up. Breaking ball, pulled to the right side. Millar will go to the bag, and that is that. In the Oakland third, top of the order coming up for the Red Sox. No score. The Division Series on Fox, brought to you by Chevy Silverado. It's the right truck. By WebMD, redefining modern medicine. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by Subway, good so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh. Boston without a base runner through the first 3 innings against Barry Zito. Strike one to Johnny Damon. He flied out to Guillen in left field, leading off the game. Certainly a Game 5 showdown between two of the game's very best here tonight. Zito, the reigning American League Cy Young Award winner. And of course, we mentioned earlier, Pedro has won that award 3 times. Get a look at Mark Mulder on the left. Tim Hudson had to leave the game yesterday after re-aggravating an injury going all the way back to last year in his side. And of course, there are all kinds of stories floating around that Hudson was involved in a barroom brawl in Boston over the weekend.
You know how things can get blown out of proportion in Boston. The story that I have on that is that Hudson and Zito were out at an establishment in Boston. They were having a great time. They said the fans were outstanding. Zito was actually playing in the band.
Roller cut off by Ellis, but no throw. He flipped the ball to Tejada. But Damon aboard, the first Red Sox to reach against Barry Zito.
Barry Zito taught himself how to play the guitar over the last 4 seasons, takes it with him on the road. They were enjoying themselves. The fans were great. They were signing autographs. And then one guy got in Hudson's face and said, "We are going to kill you guys," sticking his finger in Hudson's face. And Hudson said, "Get away from me." They pushed each other a couple times. They both got separated. Zito and Hudson went home, and that was it. Hudson was lights out in the first inning of that ball game. Threw 9 pitches. Hurt himself on the last pitch that he threw to Walker. Went back out for the next inning. Tried to throw one pitch very hard to see how bad it was hurt, and hurt it worse and had to leave the game.
It should be noted they're not sure about Hudson's availability looking ahead should they win this game in advance. Mark Mulder, who has a stress fracture in his femur, actually threw in the bullpen before the game today, and there is a chance Mulder could pitch in the World Series if the A's get that far. Nomar lifts a fly ball into left field, playable for Guillen. One away, and Damon retreats. And again, we'd like to remind you the road to the World Series continues on Fox beginning tomorrow night. Game 1, Josh Beckett of the Florida Marlins against Carlos Zambrano, the hard-throwing young right-hander for the Cubs. 8 Eastern will get underway. Game 2 will be on Wednesday. Also on Wednesday, we'll have the winner of this series against the New York Yankees. You don't think Wrigley Field will be buzzing tomorrow night, do you?
Whew.
First league championship series to be played at Wrigley Field since they lost to the San Francisco Giants in 1989. Fastball up and in, and it's good to see, by the way, Steve, we were talking about it between innings. You know, we showed you that bird right out behind the shortstop position, and you and I were saying between innings, somebody's got to move that bird off the field.
They had been trying to since batting practice. They finally got him out of there.
And that's good. A player won't get hurt. Bird not going to get hurt and have an ugly incident here in a playoff game, and all's right with the world.
Johnny Damon told me before the game against Barry Zito, he actually likes to steal bases if Zito slide steps. Says he's more comfortable doing that. The reason you slide step is to try to keep guys from stealing. Damon says that when Zito lifts his leg and goes into his normal delivery, it's tougher for him to pick up whether he's coming to first or going to home. 30 stolen bases for Damon this year.
And only thrown out 6 times. There he goes. He got a late break. The pitch was up and in, and no throw by Ramon Hernandez. That was almost like a delayed steal.
You're right. That's a terrible jump. I don't know why Hernandez didn't throw this ball. I want to see again here. That ball's up and in. He's ready to let it go. Tejada was at second base. He may have lost his grip on the ball. A big break for the Red Sox right there, because both catchers in this game throw out about 24% of the guys running on them. But Damon had a terrible jump. Easily thrown out if you make a decent throw to second base.
Lead 2 to Walker. Breaking ball pulled foul. There you see Ramon Hernandez throwing out just 24% of would-be base stealers this season. Of course, a lot of that has to do with your pitchers giving you a chance. Walker struggled against the lefties this season, only a .234 batting average. In the air, left field, and again, Guillen played perfectly.
Well, certainly one of the reasons, as you watch the game, to know how good both pitchers have been pitching the ball. You see a lot of defensive swings up there. You don't see a whole lot of confidence of guys standing in the batter's box, acting like they know exactly what they're going to get from either of these two pitches.
Now Manny Ramirez, 3 of 17 in the series without a run batted in. He has left 10 men on base so far in this series. One of the most feared hitters in all of baseball during his entire career. The postseason, however, a very different story.
Just 221 in the postseason, but I'll tell you, for my money, this guy's very, very dangerous. I pitch around him. I don't give him anything to hit. Try to get him to chase something with Ortiz in the on-deck circle with 2 outs.
So what do? Fastball right down the gut, and man, he looks at it for a strike.
Ortiz had just as many problems during this postseason, a brilliant regular season.
Fastball inside corner, strike 2. Boy, this is some kind of pitching here tonight by Zito and Pedro. They are coming after people. Inning over. Manny Ramirez without a run batted in this division series. The A's come to bat last half of the 4th inning. Scoreless game. Chavez first pitch swinging, a slow roller. One away.
One of the things that the Oakland Athletics have talked about with Chavez is the fact that he has widened his strike zone. This is the first pitch of his at-bat. Look where it is. Off the plate, away from him. Not a good pitch to swing at. First pitch, change up away and out of the zone. And he's swinging at it. He's had a lot of difficulty swinging at strikes in this series. And Tejada, way too aggressive.
That is the one thing that certainly troubles you about the big hitters on both of these teams. We brought it up earlier, but I mean, here the Oakland A's especially, 4 straight years these guys have been in the playoffs. You know, their first year you could say, well, they're very young. Same thing second year. And locking up with the New York Yankees and the crowd in the Bronx and all of those other factors. But here they are now, the 4th year in a row. Chavez and Tejada have 2 hits in the series.
Combined.
Bottom line, it's where money players show up.
Tejada, the MVP of the league last season, as he carried this team on his back to the playoffs. This season got off to a miserable start and worked his way back to respectable numbers. And then in the postseason has been trying to pull everything into the left field seats.
Took a 3-0 pitch there. Now let's see if Pedro tries to get him to chase something out of the zone because of that aggressiveness you talked about. Or does he come right after him with fastball right down the gut? Yep, fastball outside corner, swing and a miss.
Yeah, even if Pedro goes right after you, rarely is it right down the gut. Look at that paint on the outside corner with that fastball.
Three and 2. Martinez against Tejada. Chase ball 4. Instead, strike 3, 5th of the game for Pedro Martinez.
94 for Pedro, likes to climb the ladder. The problem is so difficult against Pedro Martinez because, as Kevin Kennedy said in the pregame show, he's got 4 out pitches, and on all 4 of those pitches, he can strike you out with them. You know, most pitchers have a pitch that they can go to get you out with, and then they have a pitch that they really want to go to strike you out with.
First pitch breaking ball low and into Scott Hatteberg, who grounded out on a check swing roller to Bill Miller his first time up. Two and 0. Zito so far has been more efficient with his pitches. A 10-pitch differential so far. Make it 11. And of course, Pedro has an out to go to match the 4 innings of work by Barry Zito.
You just get the feeling, Tom, that as we keep showing that graphic of the showdown, and you look at the numbers between these two pitchers, they're just going to get uglier and uglier for the hitters as we move along.
Ball 4. First walk issued by either pitcher in the game tonight. Pedro did hit a batter back in the second. Tonight, the 13th time in postseason history, the two former Cy Young Award winners match up. The last time we had it was in 2001 during the National League Championship Series Game 5 when Randy Johnson beat Tom Glavine. And that was the final game of that series, with Arizona moving on to the World Series.
Once again, right there, a purpose pitch from Pedro Martinez up and in the Guillen to set up the breaking ball, maybe the changeup, be able to go to the outside corner a little bit more easily without guys hanging out over the plate. Show them inside, get them out away.
Line into right center field, a base hit. That ball will go to the wall. Rounding third and scoring is Hatteberg. On to third, Guillen, throw there, he is out at third, but not before Jose Guillen has broken the scoreless game. We go to the fifth. Oakland in front, 1-0. We're back after a word from your local Fox station. It's been delivered, and it comes off the bat of Jose Guillen, playing with a broken hamate bone. His second hit.
Guillen thinking right along with Pedro Martinez. The first pitch up and in, the second one down and away. He goes the other way. In yesterday's ball game, he got thrown out at third base for the first out by Johnny Damon. Today, he makes the third out at third base, getting thrown out again on a perfect relay by Garcia Parra.
1-0 Oakland. We open the fifth inning. David Ortiz, Kevin Millar, and Bill Miller coming up against Barry Zito, who's only allowed one hit. 1-1 to Ortiz. Breaking ball off the outside corner. Ortiz got off to a terrible start this year after being signed very late during the offseason when Minnesota turned him loose. But from July the 1st on, 27 home runs, 65 batted in, and the highest slugging percentage in the American League.
Well, Ron Jackson, the hitting coach of the Boston Red Sox, made a little adjustment in Ortiz's swing. Got him to open up just a tad, shorten the swing down. He was getting beat on fastballs in by everybody. Not too many people beat him on fastballs in this season. Papa Jack, the hitting instructor for the Red Sox, has done an outstanding job with these Red Sox hitters.
Pull to the right side. We can say that again. The Red Sox led the majors in virtually every offensive category, including batting, runs scored, hits, doubles, extra base hits, total bases, on base percentage, and they shattered the Major League single season slugging percentage record, which had been held by the 1927 New York Yankees.
That was a pretty good team.
Not bad. Breaking ball, strike one to Kevin Millar. Much has been made of Manny Ramirez and what he has not done in this series, but the same holds true for Ortiz until the 8th inning yesterday, and certainly Millar and Bill Miller.
Millar said he has had a tough time with Zito's breaking ball. He said, I've never seen it before. I had no idea it broke that much. And I'm doing a bad job of keeping the ball in the middle of the field. I got to go back up the middle if I'm going to get any hits in this series.
He goes back up the middle, and it falls in front of Singleton. Off of his body. Millar going to make the turn, coming to second. Here's the throw to Hopper, and he's out at second.
Millar with the base hit up the middle here. Then he sees the ball kick away. He just doesn't have the great speed and didn't get a good enough jump out of the box to go for 2 on that play. Barry Zito likes it.
Now Bill Miller. Breaking ball, strike 1.
See a good look at the second version of the skinhead look. Yesterday's ball game, Millar had a kind of a modified crew cut. You see Millar, he knows he's got a single here, just kind of loping down to first and then kicks it into another gear when he sees the ball kick away.
You know, how many times have you and I heard, Steve, and this has gone back forever in a game of baseball, well, you'll never see a guy do that again.
Yeah.
And you see it all the time.
Yep. Well, what happens is, guys, you know, they get a base hit, they think that's all that's going to happen, and then the ball does kick away, and then you're a step short.
Miller popped up to right his first time up. 2-2, top of the 5th inning. Oakland leading 1-0.
Now you look up and down this lineup for the Red Sox. Career highs for Ortiz and average home runs and RBIs. Millar, home runs and RBIs. Miller, all 3 categories. Nixon, all 3 categories. Varitek, home runs and RBIs.
First walk issued tonight by Barry Zito. And the inning will continue for Trot Nixon.
You're not sure how Zito would have pitched Miller. The league's leading hitter by 1 point over his teammate Manny Ramirez had Millar been on first base. Red Sox fans will sit around right now and say we may have had guys on first and second right now with 1 out.
Nixon popped up to center field, his only time up. Breaking ball, strike 1. Breaking ball again. And down on both knees is Hatterberg to make sure. The base hit by Millar, slow out of the box. Singleton guns him down. First pitch swinging, Ramon Hernandez as we begin the bottom half of the 5th inning. 1-0 Athletics in front in this decisive Game 5 of this American League Division Series.
Now you can bank on Hernandez swinging at that first pitch. 21 home runs on the season, 9 of them on first pitch fastballs.
Breaking ball up, swung on and missed. 1-2. Pedro has fanned 5, walked 1, and the only batter he walked has scored the only run of the game. A 2-out walk to Hatterberg in the 4th. He scored on a double to right center by Guillen.
The crowd here for Oakland has been outstanding. They've had trouble drawing over the years. When this team started to get very, very good, they still did not draw very well at all. They were one of the most exciting teams to watch, and no one was watching them. Big crowd today.
Is it ever? When you see him in the upper deck of Mount Davis in straightaway center field, which generally is exclusively for Oakland Raider games, you know it's a big crowd.
Up in this area, never gets people.
That's why I'm really looking forward to getting down to Florida next weekend. Ground ball to short. Omar Garciaparra throws out Hernandez. Let's send it back to Jeannie Zalasko at our Fox Network Center.
And we bring you the final out. The beginning of something historical? Well, that remains to be seen, but the Cubs sure took the first step in beating the Braves. There is joy in Wrigleyville as the Cubbies are headed to the NLCS tomorrow night on Fox. Be there.
Oh, we'll be there. Now Jermaine Dye looks at a breaking ball down low. Guy left 2 on, ending the second inning on a ground out.
This Oakland team and the teammates really felt like Jermaine Dye was a late season acquisition when they got him back. They're very happy to have him back in the lineup. Does a lot of damage. One more possible protection for some of those other guys in that lineup. The shoulder injury, the knee injury, spent so much time on the DL this season.
2-0. Fouled a fastball straight back. Well, he told a story about Jermaine Dye and his father playing professional basketball. Grounded to the left side. And Miller will throw him out. A knee injury ended his father's playing career. He later became a San Francisco bus driver, but always found time to coach his son's Little League team.
Now, we saw him break his leg on a horrific foul ball off just below his knee, breaking his shin. That had slowed him.
That was during the 2001 playoffs. In there a strike. There you got to look at his father a moment ago. Rooting his son on here tonight.
Got a few pins in that hat, doesn't he?
Fly ball right center field, playable for Damon. And that'll do it. We head for the top of the 6th. Still 1-0 A's in front. 25-year-old San Diego, California native Barry Zito winning this showdown game 5 through the front 5 against Pedro Martinez. 1-0. Each pitcher is allowed a pair of base hits. Zito has struck out 3, walked 1.
I think Zito was relaxed coming into this ball game. We saw him walk into the stadium wearing a pair of jeans, a big beanie cap pulled down over a pair of sunglasses, flip-flops. Looked more like Keanu Reeves coming into the yard.
He really is a very interesting young man. He's extremely bright. Much is made of the clothes that he wears, and certainly the numbers he puts up are staggering. But he is one focused guy when it comes to doing his job.
You know what he is what a lot of us would love to be. He's very much so himself, very much so an individual. People talk about him being zany and off the wall. I think that nothing's further than the truth.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know, the story has been told many times about his father, a composer for Nat King Cole, worked with musicians like Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr., managed many musical careers, and really knew what it took to mold a champion. His mother, a backup singer for Nat King Cole. In there a strike. And his uncle, Patrick Duffy, played Bobby Ewing on the legendary TV program Dallas. But he grew up in a very creative environment.
Yes, he did.
And he's mighty creative out on that mound. 3-2. Launched into left field. We may have a tie game. We do have a tie game. Varitek, his second home run of the series.
I don't know how many teams, Tommy, have their number 9 hitter with career high 25 home runs, 85 RBIs from that spot. Varitek, another one of those guys that shaved his head in unison for the team, sitting dead red on a 3-2 pitch, and he got it.
So just like that, we begin anew. Series tied, game tied. Rolled over foul by Damon. 0-2.
Yeah, talking to a lot of those guys down there with their hair all cut off. You notice Damon, they said Damon didn't do it because his hair is too pretty. He's been working on it for a long time, trying to get the mullet back, and Garcia Parra's getting married in about a month, and he didn't want to look ugly.
So none other than arguably the greatest women's soccer player ever out of the University of North Carolina, Mia Hamm.
And unfortunately for the women's team, now eliminated from World Cup action.
Pulled foul.
There is Nomar.
Well, good Lord willing, they have some offspring. I would certainly like their chances of being a pretty fair athlete.
Think they might be good?
Not bad. Breaking ball low and away. 2-2 to Damon.
Well, that might help happen sooner or later. I believe Mia Hamm has said that will be her last World Cup competition. May think about settling right down and having a family.
Foul out of play by Damon. Will do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Damon 1 of 2 in the game. Flied out to left in the first. Singled up the middle in the 4th inning. Stole second base. 6 of 19 in the series. Breaking ball bounces up there. 3-2. Pretty good at bat right here by Johnny Damon after the Varitek game tying home run to begin this 6th inning. And you can mark it down. If Damon finds a way to get on base, he will be running early and often.
First player in Red Sox history since 1914 to have back-to-back 30 steal seasons. That is amazing.
He has reached base. So gentlemen, start your engines.
I mean, you talk about the makeup of these ball clubs and how they've almost reversed. The Oakland A's have become a team that will wait around for a 3-run homer. That was always the reputation of the Red Sox, especially in Fenway Park. And now the Red Sox a little better at being able to manufacture a run, a little bit better team speed, but of course they can still knock the walls down.
In this series, Boston with 3 stolen bases, and the Athletics surprisingly 3 stolen bases. You know, I know this is a sore point with many in the Oakland organization when I've talked about this through the years as Rick Peterson comes out for a visit. But the numbers don't lie. Over the last 4 years, Oakland, a team that does not play small ball. Ken Mock has done more of that this year, but they rarely try to manufacture runs. In the last 4 postseasons, including this year, in games decided by 2 runs or less, they are 3-9. And for my money, that is the #1 reason why.
You have to be able to adapt, especially in the postseason. You have to be able to take what someone's willing to give you as an opponent, and if that is the ability just to manufacture a run, you got to take it.
Swinging a foul ball off the end of the bat, out of play by Garcia Parra. Damon not running on the first pitch. He got a terrible jump when he stole second base in the 4th inning. The pitch was up and in to Garcia Parra. And Ramon Hernandez couldn't find the grip on the ball, never threw it down to second. And you can tell Damon is not comfortable getting a read on that Barry Zito either move to first or delivery to the plate.
Not very many guys are. Zito is very quick to the plate. Does not have a great move, but doesn't have to. Slide steps and doesn't kick very high with that leg and delivers the ball to home very quickly.
Maybe he's so concerned with Damon over there that he's quick pitching Garcia Parra to some extent. He's fallen behind 2-1. Nomar, outstanding postseason numbers. Two-1. Popped up. Foul territory, and there's plenty of it here in Oakland. And room over there for Hannibal.
With Damon on first is Zito hurrying a little bit. Looked like he hurried that pitch, but got it over the plate for a strike. Garcia Parra fouled it off. Then down in the dirt with a fastball. Hernandez says, stay back. Fastball away, falls behind, and then runs it up in the strike zone. Just over the swing of Garcia Parra. Not a bad pitch to swing at, but he didn't get it.
Now Todd Walker, throw over to first.
Yeah, Baby Ruth.
Breaking ball again, bounces up there.
This crowd, Tommy, may have been making more noise now after Zito got in trouble than they did before in between innings.
Well, there are certainly not an overly significant number, but there are Boston fans in attendance.
Tons of them. No matter where Boston goes, a little bit like following the Cubs.
Saw double barrel action in the Oakland bullpen. That one swung on and fouled out of play, third base side.
There's no question the A's fans are ready to take on the New York Yankees. In between innings, Derek Jeter was giving a public service announcement to stay away from drugs, and the fans booed him when he came on the screen.
Breaking ball away. Much better at bats in this inning. Zito not throwing nearly as many strikes. John Halama and Chad Harville continue to throw in the Oakland bullpen.
That's what we have overhead.
Well, you know they're watching back in Beantown in huge numbers for this game 5. And Walker hit on the right shoulder. So all of a sudden the pinpoint control of Barry Zito in the game tonight. There you get a look in at Jillian's. Couple of blocks away from Fenway Park. They're hoping for a night like they had in Chicago last night.
Well, I'm thinking that Jillian's is close enough to Fenway that Ramirez could almost hit him with a home run ball. It'd be a little bit of a shot from here in Oakland, though.
Just a little.
I think Barry Zito needs to throw first pitch curveball to Ramirez. Get him back into his rhythm.
Manny Ramirez has left 11 men on base in the series. There you see the trio. Quartet, I beg your pardon. Ramirez, Ortiz, Millar, and Miller. Collectively 2 RBI. 1-1 game, 2 on, 1 out. And there is a first pitch breaking ball, but again, Zito for the first time not throwing strikes with that breaking ball.
Out of the stretch. Clearly not as comfortable throwing out of the stretch. He has such an easy, fluid motion through his windup. There's the breaking ball bouncing. That's the breaking ball he'll throw when he has 2 strikes. Not the one he wants to throw in order to get a called strike.
Damon and Walker aboard. Check swing. Did he go? They appeal. Yes, sir, says Greg Gibson.
First base coach Dallas Williams all over Gibson after calling that pitch. That one's pretty close, Tommy. Didn't look like an offering.
And the Jillians are saying, ah, you bum. Ramirez during the regular season with runners in scoring position hit .338. Swing and a miss. But he has not knocked in a single run in this division series.
I mean, this guy is a tremendously smart hitter. One of the best hitters in the game, especially with his intelligence. And Zito has had him looking bad. His last at-bat, maybe one of the worst at-bats I've ever seen him have. And this one here, he's got him totally baffled.
2 on, 1 out. Breaking ball. Down and in on Manny Ramirez to even the count.
Ramirez drove in 165 runs in 1999 with the Cleveland Indians. He's had 8 out of the last 9 seasons. He's driven in 100 or more. He is an RBI and hitting machine.
Yeah, well, you, Steve, for my money, he is the best run-producing offensive player in the game today.
Now, the Red Sox went out and paid him tons of money to come to this organization to do just that. That's the man that's produced the run in this ballgame for the Red Sox so far.
But you know what? Regular season's one thing. Postseason's a whole new ballgame.
Got that right.
And Manny lifts one into deep left center field. Guillen back at the wall. Goodbye. And Ramirez walking to first base and pointing to his teammates.
Manny Ramirez here saying, let's start a new postseason tradition with that home run. That's what they're used to seeing out of him. I had never seen more emotion out of him than when he scored a run in yesterday's ball game. Here's the package. Curveball in the dirt, fastball in for the strike, curveball in the dirt swinging. Then Zito lets him back into the at-bat. A fastball that he fouls off, feels good about. Another one, the same pitch that Varitek hit, and he knows it's gone.
Steve, I got to ask you, though. I mean, that's a big home run, but
don't like
it. Come on. I mean, give me a break. It's the top of the 6th inning. You've had a grand total of 3 hits in the whole series, and you got to do this.
Ramirez is showing his emotion of getting back into being the hitter that he is, but this is a bad thing to do. You do not need to wake up the bench of the Oakland A's, and you don't want to get any of your other players hurt in this game by making someone on that other team mad at you. And that would do it for me. That is a huge bomb in the playoffs. They will let you run around the bases and put your fist in the air and shake it and say, yes, we just did something good. They still don't want you walking down the first baseline and having you not even be halfway to first base by the time the ball gets out of the ballpark. Not a smart move.
You know, it's that old adage about when you get into the end zone, act like you've been there before. Manny's been there before.
Plenty.
Ortiz is swinging a miss, and he's gone on strikes.
batter, first baseman Kevin Millar.
Fastball, you see where Hernandez set up. He wanted that in on the hands. That's hard to look at again, Tommy. The ball that was hit out of the ballpark was beautiful. What followed, not so much.
It's one of the few things about the game, Steve, that it's a great game. It's the best game of all games. Well, boy, there are some things that take place, and it's occurring more and more frequently during the regular season. Guys hitting home runs, standing there watching them. Not good.
Just no real place for it in the game. Players talk about showing each other up.
.35 pitches now this inning for Barry Zito. A batter would go batty if every time a pitcher struck a batter out, they started walking down towards home plate and pointed in their own dugout, not the opposing dugout. You'd hear plenty about it from batters all over the league.
I will say that I think this is more out of emotion for him doing something finally in this series.
Pedro Martinez given a 3-run lead. A game-tying home run by Jason Varitek in a 4-run 6th inning, and then Manny Ramirez. A 3-run home run, scoring Damon and Walker ahead of him. Speaking of Todd Walker, he has been taken out of the game. Grady Little told us we've been doing it all year long, and we'll do it again. If we get a lead, Damian Jackson's coming in to take over defensively.
I've not seen many sliders out of Pedro Martinez. That looked like a slider to me, maybe a little bit of a cut fastball, but just 83 miles an hour. This is a great hitter for him to face with not a lot of power. Just 9 home runs on the season out of Ellis, considering that he sat on that bench for a long time.
Good breaking ball, strike 3 call, number 6 tonight for Pedro. We invite you to join us tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Fox. It'll be game 1 of the National League Championship Series. Josh Beckett on the mound for the Florida Marlins against the Cubs right-hander Carlos Zambrano. Then Wednesday, we're live in prime time on both Fox and FX as the winner of this game takes on the Yankees in game 1 of the ALCS. Game 2 of the NLCS, which will feature Mark Pryor on the mound for the Cubs. Check your local listings for the game and channel in your area. The road to the World Series continues tomorrow on Fox. Rubio Durazo fouls it away 1-1.
One of the things that I marvel at as I watch Pedro Martinez work is the fact that he is so much better a pitcher right now than he was 4 seasons ago, when he had better stuff. Because now he doesn't have that brash 97-mile-an-hour fastball that whenever he could get in trouble, he could go to that and still get you out. Now he has to pitch his way to the victories he gets now, and it is impressive to watch.
Lined into left center field, a base hit by Durazo. It'll go to the wall. And Durazo, his first hit of the game, his 5th of the series.
Tommy, he limped his way into second base, too. An easy double, opposite field smash. That is when Durazo's clearly at his best. But watch him start limping around the bag, gingerly into second base there. No one's come out to take a look at him. He's stretching the hamstrings or the quads back there.
Well, one of Boston's big guns finally got on track when Ramirez hit that home run in the top of this inning. And now Barry Zito and company hoping that Chavez and Tejada can do the same. Strike 1. Barrett go for 2, 1 of 20 in the series.
Once again, that pitch right there, the pitch that Kevin Kennedy talked about in the pregame show, a cut fastball moving in on the hands of Chavez. Just basically trying to get him to do exactly what he did, pull it foul. You're not going to keep that ball fair, and it's just another strike.
And you pointed it out, Steve, when it happened. Durazo clearly is in pain out there at second base. Foul territory, and that ball will drift in amongst the fans.
And if he is, why are we not telling anybody about it? It's a 4-1 game. If Chavez hits a ball to left field, and Ramirez, who has a decent arm but not an accurate arm, but Durazo doesn't score on the play for whatever reason because he is hurt, what a shame that would be for the Oakland A's. Doing a lot of grimacing out there.
Yep. 0-2 again on Chavez. And popped up. Durazo won't have to worry about running right now. Garcia Parra's got him. Game 5 of this American League Division Series. It was a 0-0 affair through the front 3. Barry Zito against Pedro Martinez. The winner will advance on to play the Yankees in the American League Championship Series. In the 4th inning, a 2-out walk to Hatterberg. He scored on a double to right center by Guillen. Veritek led off the top of the 6th inning with a game-tying home run, and then after a walk and a hit batsman, Manny Ramirez hit his first home run of the series, knocked in his first 3 runs of the series with a home run to left field, and stood and watched it.
Well, we watched Zito go right after Ramirez earlier in the ballgame in a situation that he could have pitched around him and gone after Ortiz next in the order. This is the same type of situation for Martinez right here with Hatterberg hitting next and Tejada with tremendous home run power, but who has struggled through this series. How will he approach this at bat?
Line into right center field. This will score Durazo on an extra base hit by Tejada. His second RBI of the series, and it's a 2-run game.
Pedro went it right after him, and he paid for it. Tejada going the other way, like Durazo went the other way, and like Guillen went the other way. Pedro's going to keep staying away from hitters. The A's hitters are starting to do a decent job of adjusting to that.
This could be a very big batter in this ball game right now for Pedro Martinez and the Red Sox. You've got Guillen standing in the on-deck circle, who has smoked 2 pitches from Pedro tonight. A single in the center in the 2nd, an RBI double in the 4th. This will be the 88th pitch of the game for Pedro. Runner goes to 3rd on a ground ball to short. Garcia Parra will throw out Hatterberg to win the inning.
Where's he going?
1 run scores. We go to the 7th. 4-2 Boston. Back after a word from your local Fox station. The night is over for Barry Zito. After 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 4 earned runs, walked 2, hit a batter, struck out 4. All 4 runs coming in nearly a 40-pitch Boston 6th inning. Game 3 starter, and boy was he good. Ted Lilly comes on in relief. Lilly told Ken Mock after the ball game last night, he said, "I'm good for an inning if you need me."
One inning is hoping, Ken Maka hoping that's all he'll need from him. Get to Bradford and then Keith Falk in a situation if the A's can score a few more runs.
Miller, a ground ball to Tejada. And Lilly retires Miller to open up the 7th inning. What an effort Lilly had in that Game 3 start. 7 innings, only allowed 2 hits and 1 unearned run. Struck out 5 and walked only 2. Lily, a 12-game winner during the regular year. Brady Little told us before the ball game that Derek Lowe is available to pitch for him out of the bullpen if need be, and that in a save situation, should there be one, Scott Williamson again would get the ball.
Picked up a couple of wins in relief in Boston. And pitching lights out lately for that club.
I know Williamson has had his ups and downs, much like the entire Boston bullpen, but boy, for those of us who watched him in the National League pitch in Cincinnati, when he's throwing strikes, he's almost unhittable.
I had some things to think about right around the time he got traded. His wife gave birth, both the baby and his wife sick thereafter. A little tough for him to concentrate just on baseball. That's now behind him.
And that at bat is behind Trot Nixon. Well, here comes Varitek. He led off the 6th inning. His team down 1-0. And promptly tied the game.
Now you talk about a guy now that embodies the new attitude of that Red Sox club, kind of a down in the dirt, go get 'em guy. Jason Varitek is that guy.
And Boston all of a sudden now a city that likes to don the cowboy hat.
Oh yeah, cowboy up. A phrase coined by Timlin at first, and of course Kevin Millar, the mouthpiece of that team, has brought it to the entire New England area.
Like even the legendary voice of the Red Sox and later NBC Sports, Kurt Gowdy had a cowboy hat on.
There ain't a whole lot of Cowboys hanging out in Boston, I can tell you that. But there are a lot of Cowboys hanging out in that Boston locker room.
Well, Boston will resemble Houston, Texas, if they win this game here tonight. There'll be cowboy hats all over Beantown tomorrow.
Think Pedro will wear one?
Why not? Whatever works.
I think that's the difference in this ball club, is that they have a lot of guys in there that will follow something that they think works. The shaved heads, the cowboy hats. Kevin Millar's become the rally monkey that the Anaheim Angels had last year. They play a scene of him dancing to try to get the team going if they're behind in Boston.
Springsteen.
You got it.
4-2 as the A's come to bat in the bottom of the 7th inning against Pedro Martinez. The Division Series on Fox brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Jose Guillen leading off the bottom half of the 7th inning. He has 2 of the 4 hits against Pedro Martinez tonight, including a run-scoring double in the 4th.
Not a bad pitch by Martinez, but Guillen just going with that. Looking for it out there and put a sweet stroke on it.
Bouncer back to Pedro. First time he's retired Jose tonight, 1 away. What an effort here so far by Pedro Martinez. 14-4 during the regular season. And we mentioned earlier, he missed 5 starts due to injury or illness. And we remind you, tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific, Game 1 of a National League Championship Series. Jam shot roller to short.
First fucking pitch.
2 away. Pedro led the American League with that 2.22 ERA as you see Embry, the left-hander, Timlin, the right-hander, beginning to throw. Pedro held the opponents to a .215 batting average, #1 in the league. Average just shy of 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. #1 in the league.
And the Red Sox with 7 outs left to get to end this ball game. If it stays the same way, 4-2 score, you get the feeling after their last offensive inning, after the outburst in the 6th, they're almost playing like a dump and chase offense like in hockey, and let their defense play the rest of the way out and they'll be happy.
Boy, Steve Psycho Lyons dumping the hockey terminology on us.
Some big Bruin fans in Boston too, I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
there are. Off the end of the bat into short center field. Damon coming on. Damian Jackson going out. They collide. And the ball is dropped. Throw into second, and they still got the runner. But Damon and Jackson both down in short center field. Both running at nearly full speed, and check out this wreck.
Oh.
Head on head.
Tommy, it's so tough to communicate out there. It seemed like you could tell neither one of them was saying anything, and with the crowd as big as it is, you wouldn't be able to hear it anyway. That's an all-out effort by both players.
And then how about Garcia Parra, with all that going on around him, picked up the ball, threw to second base, and Miller came into second to cover the bag and get the out. But obviously all of our thoughts and prayers right now with Jackson and Damon.
Garcia Parra finishes the play and then checked on his teammates. I mean, that's as bad as I have ever seen a collision head-to-head. Jackson is up and moving around. Johnny Damon is not.
So we're going to step away and we'll come right back. Well, they have brought a stretcher out onto the field. Damian Jackson is already up on his feet. See, they're taking a look at him. Clearly there'll be a knot there, but Johnny Damon's still down.
A little cut on the side of Damian Jackson's head, but his forehead really hit Damon in his, right on his face, really. A harder part of Damon's, or of Jackson's head. Oh. To the right of his right eye, hitting Damon squarely in the face. Very, very hard to look at, Tom. Jackson looks very much dazed. Taking every precaution they can with Johnny Damon. That is such a difficult play, Tom, because with the noise, and players are taught, do not call the ball unless you're sure that you can catch it. We saw good replays of both guys going after that ball, neither of them saying anything because neither of them were sure they could get to it.
Damian Jackson wants to go back out there. He is very concerned about it. And now a few of the fans apparently giving it to Damian Jackson over behind that Oakland dugout. But much more importantly, well, now all of a sudden some of the Boston players having to be restrained from going into the dugout or going into the stands, I beg your pardon.
I don't know if it was just some unruly fans saying some things, some disrespectful things to the Red Sox players as they came off the field, or if something was thrown. A couple of the Red Sox were pointing out a few of the fans, saying that these guys should be ejected. Now there's a fan right there that's being restrained by a policeman.
Damian Jackson was looking out toward his teammates. And certainly his concern for Johnny Damon. And then some of the words started from the stands. Jackson giving it back to him. Let's send it downstairs to Josh Lewin.
Yeah, fellas, what happened, David Ortiz was kind of leading a round of applause for Damian Jackson. A few of the Red Sox fans had started to cheer, seeing the fact that Damian was apparently okay. There was one fan that then gave it to David Ortiz. I'm not sure what the fan said, but Ortiz then reacted that the fan would have something at all to say about applauding a man who's apparently all right after a collision that violent, and that's when the fracas began over there.
See, the guy in the yellow visor is the guy that was then taken out of the stadium by security. Not the type of reaction you'd like to see from anybody when this type of serious injury occurs.
I was getting ready to say all about the secondary to what's going on in short center field. Well, from the very bottom of our hearts, our thoughts and prayers as Johnny Damon raises his hand and the crowd standing and applauding. That's a very good sign. But our thoughts and prayers go out to Johnny Damon. We hope he's okay. If we hear anything, we'll let you know as soon as we can. Johnny Damon raising his hand and waving, letting the crowd know here that he was able to move. Let's again go downstairs and bring in Josh Lewin.
Hi, Tom. Dr. William Morgan is briefing Theo Epstein, the general manager of the Red Sox, right now. Apparently, Johnny Damon is going to be okay. The doctor says he was unconscious for a minute, maybe two, has regained consciousness, and as you reported, moving all extremities. Dr. Morgan reassuring GM Theo Epstein that it looked like things were going to be okay. And by the way, Theo Epstein came over to one of our Fox cameras trying to see the replay. When he saw the replay, the same replay that you guys saw, your reaction was his exact reaction. He said, oh, and then winced and turned and walked away. He was asked if he wanted to see it a second time. He said no.
Great to have Josh Lewin with us. Josh, thank you for that report.
Theo Epstein, of course, the youngest general manager in all of baseball. You'll remember that Billy Beane, the GM of the Oakland Athletics, actually took the Red Sox job for a couple hours and then reconsidered and decided that he could not take it. Theo Epstein then was named general manager. Billy Beane stayed here. Could have been a situation where Epstein was actually working for Billy Beane.
Adrian Brown batting for Johnny Damon and bounces out to the second baseman Mark Ellis. We've opened the 8th inning. Game 5 of this American League Division Series, and the Red Sox lead Oakland 4-2. Ted Lilly in his second inning of relief of Barry Zito. He told his manager he was good for an inning, but he was so impressive in that 7th inning. Got a ground out and a couple of strikeouts that Ken Maka going to leave him in there. They do have activity, however, in their bullpen. Ricardo Rincon, the left-hander, and Chad Bradford, the right-hander.
This is a time, Tom, where I think that athletes differentiate themselves from anybody else. The ability to focus under the circumstances now when you know one of your teammates are on their way to the hospital. Johnny Damon, a very well-liked guy on this club. Real tough to go up there and face what you have to face at the plate or in the field when your thoughts are with one of those guys that you go to battle with every day.
And you see Damian Jackson, he's already standing in the on-deck circle. There have been a lot of guys that either came into this series injured or have gotten injured in this series. That ball lifted into deep left center field and room against the wall for Singleton.
I don't know if you can hit each other any more squarely than those two players hit.
Damian Jackson was down alongside Damon. It took him a while to get back to his feet.
I think
he stayed in the game and remains in the game.
I think you got to keep your eyes on Damian Jackson too. I mean, like we said, I think the side of his forehead hit Johnny Damon. He looks okay there. His eyes looked a little glassy when he came back to the sidelines, but you better pay attention to the way he reacts as well. A lot of guys say they're okay right now. A lot of guys want to stay in the game. They want to be gamers. But that's a dangerous situation when you're talking about a guy getting hit in the head.
2-0 to Damian Jackson. 2 down, nobody on in the Boston 8th inning. Manny Ramirez waits in the on-deck circle. He broke the 1-1 tie with a 3-run home run to left field on Barry Zito in the 4-run 6th inning. Of course, Tim Hudson had to leave the game yesterday after the opening inning. Jose Guillen playing with a broken hamate bone. Fly ball into right. And that'll do it in the Boston 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Singleton and the top of the order coming up against Pedro. The division series on Fox is brought to you by Midas, by Gap, by the new Santa Fe Fire Grilled Chicken Baguette from Burger King, and by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. We begin the bottom half of the 8th inning. Chris Singleton against Pedro Martinez. 4-2 Boston, trying to advance to the American League Championship Series. Adrian Brown will remain in the game and play center field after Johnny Damon had to leave following that collision with Damian Jackson. Pulled into right field, fair ball, it'll go to the wall. Singleton makes a turn and will coast into second base with a leadoff double. And the tying run will come to the plate.
Once again, another long time to sit in that bench for Pedro Martinez. That pitch out over the middle of the plate, not in the location he was trying to hit. Singleton quickly through the hitting zone with a double down the line. Tim Hudson leading the cheers, even with the oblique strain.
Billy McMillan will come up to pinch hit for Mark Ellis. McMillan made his first postseason start in Game 3 out in left field, went 0 for 5. After making his postseason debut in Game 1 as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning, he drew a walk.
Pedro Martinez has never thrown a complete game in the postseason, but talking to Grady Little before today's ball game, he said if it gets close, if it gets tight, the guy I want on the mound is the guy that's on the mound right now. They've had bullpen problems, although in the last month, their bullpen has been much, much better.
Pulled into right field, a base hit. They're going to wave around Singleton. He will score, and the A's within a run. Pinch hit run scoring single by Billy McMillan. Long faces at Jillians. Pedro Martinez will lead the Boston bullpen. Can't hold the lead. Pedro Martinez, an outstanding effort. 7+ innings, allows 3 runs. But now the story zeroes in on the Boston bullpen. The often beleaguered, much maligned Boston bullpen. They have been good in this series, however.
Great in this series, not so good during the regular season. A 1.13 ERA in this series. I mean, you have seen Ruby Durazo over the last couple of seasons with the Arizona Diamondbacks, got his biggest chance to play here in Oakland. I believe in these situations he becomes a less effective hitter because he tries to hit home runs. He's a much better hitter when he thinks going to the opposite field gap and let his natural strength come out.
He's 2 of 3 in his career against Alan Embry. Jam shot pop-up left side of the infield. 1 away. So Embry takes care of Durazo. You have the right-hander Timlin ready. You have another lefty coming up. Let's take a look at our Nissan game summary. Martinez leads. Zito pitching 2-hit shutout baseball through the front 5, allowed 4 runs in the 6th inning.
Tommy, you think these Red Sox guys get along with each other and they like each other? They come out and hug each other when Martinez comes out of the game. Each guy walked up and hugged him. Didn't just shake his hand. I've never seen that before. It's amazing.
Well, you started with this group all the way back in February when pitchers and catchers reported. And here you are playing in October with your season on the line. Chavez 0 for 3. And he pops it up. Short left field. Manny Ramirez coming on. And Garciaparra will peel off. Quick throw back to first base. Not going to be in time to get the pinch runner Frank Menechino. And they're 2 away in the inning. Chavez still without an RBI in this series.
They're going nuts in Jillian's. The report on Johnny Damon that we just got did get knocked unconscious by the impact, regained consciousness. He does have a concussion. They may have to keep him overnight in the hospital for observation.
Timlin comes on to face Miguel Tejada. We'll be back. Major League Baseball is giving away World Series tickets for life and other great prizes. Winning hologram numbers will be announced during games 1 through 4 of the 2003 World Series here on Fox. Visit your neighborhood Radio Shack store for your chance to win.
How about these Oakland A's battling back against the best pitcher on the planet? Still struggling through the heart of their order. But if you're the Oakland A's and down through history in the last couple seasons, you're talking about an MVP player and a guy that they wanted to re-sign and probably will not be able to do it. He's coming to the plate right now.
It is conceivable, and as you mentioned, Steve, more than likely a reality. This could be the final at bat as an Oakland Athletic for Miguel Tejada, the reigning American League Most Valuable Player. They watched so many great stars walk out the door here in Oakland, a small market franchise that has advanced on to the postseason for 4 consecutive years, but they've had some huge names leave here. All right, Tejada, RBI double in the 6th inning. He looks at a strike from Timlin. Scott Williamson, I beg your pardon, is beginning to throw now in the Boston bullpen.
He would get the save opportunity if there is one. Timlin's been lights out in this playoff series. 4 innings, no hits, no walks, 5 punch-outs.
1 career postseason home run for Miguel Tejada. He missed a good pitch to hit right there. Pops it up foul and out of play. And Timlin has come on and quickly gotten ahead of Tejada. 0-2.
We have seen both catchers in this game stand up behind home plate, wanting the ball up in the strike zone. That one not high enough for anybody's taste in that Red Sox dugout. Tejada can launch that pitch. They want to be able to get up over his top hand so that he can't get on top of a ball. Both catchers being emphatic about how high they want the pitch by standing up behind the plate.
Didn't do it that time. Blown away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Oakland Athletics at 39 come from behind wins this season. The tying run is Frank Menachino over at first. Running for Billy McMillan, who had a pinch hit run scoring single off Pedro here in the 8th inning. Ground ball slowly hit to short. The force out will end the inning, so Embry and Timlin get the job done. Pedro in line for a Game 5 win. It's a 1-run Boston lead. 4-3 Red Sox in front. They come to bat in the 9th inning.
Zito had Manny looking silly. First strikeout in his first at-bat. His next at-bat had no idea. Was laughing at him. And then Manny on a fastball up, got the last laugh.
For Ramirez, his 14th career postseason home run, which ties him with David Justice behind Reggie Jackson and Mickey Mantle with 18, Jim Thome, Bernie Williams, and the Babe 17, and then 16 for Ruth as Chad Bradford takes over on the mound.
What a job this guy has done for the Oakland A's. Goes so far under as you look at Frank Menachino staying in to play second base. Occasionally drags his knuckles on the mound when he releases a pitch. That's coming from down under. Watch how low he gets. Try to find that release point. I used to be able to throw a pitch like that, but it was in the backyard with my brother with a wiffle ball.
You got it. Blown away to Manny Ramirez. 1 ball, 2 strikes. After striking out his first 2 times up, Ramirez was 3 of 18 in the series, without an extra base hit, without an RBI. All that changed on 1 swing of the bat in the 6th.
And I do believe, as we talked about the showboating that Ramirez went through after that home run, I think a lot of it was a relief that he finally produced for this club, because he's the guy that's supposed to do it.
Still weak. 2-2 to Manny Ramirez. Check swing, and he went around. And now Manny jawing with Greg Gibson, the first base umpire.
This is the second time Manny's been called on a check swing. This one maybe a little bit further. Tell you what, Gibson did a great job. After he called it, Manny's very upset here. He's yelling at him. Gibson turned around and walked down the first baseline, so he didn't have to listen to any more of it. So he didn't have to hear what he might not want to have heard. And then possibly may have had to throw Ramirez out of this game. That's a nice job by the umpire just to keep control of the situation.
Now David Ortiz over 3 in the game, fouled out of play. To David Ortiz, pulled into right field, a base hit. First hit tonight for Ortiz, his 2nd hit of the series. Again, we remind you, tomorrow 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Fox, Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. Josh Beckett and the Florida Marlins against Carlos Zambrano and the Chicago Cubs. And Wednesday, We're live in prime time on both Fox and FX. The winner of this game will take on the Yankees in the Bronx in game 1 of the ALCS. Marlins and Cubs game 2 at Wrigley Field. Check the game and channel in your area. David Ortiz going to be taken down. For a pinch runner, Gabe Kapler will come on and run for Ortiz. And 1 on Millar, who is 1 of 3 in the game. A 1-run spread here in the top half of the 9th inning. The Boston Red Sox would become the 4th team since the division series was inaugurated in 1995 to win a series after losing the first 2 games. Seattle turned the trick against the Yankees in '95. The Red Sox did it against Cleveland in '99. And of course, the Yankees fell behind 2-0 against these Athletics and lost 3 in a row. Of the 3, only the '99 Red Sox won the decisive 5th game on the road.
Bradford has a habit of quick pitching hitters. Doesn't go through much of a motion, a little more difficult out of the stretch, but brings those hands together very quickly and then lets it loose sometimes before the hitter's ready.
Two and 1 to Millar.
Millar, you'll remember, began his career as an independent player, was not drafted out of Lamar University. Played for the St. Paul Saints long before playing for those independent teams became fashionable. Ended up in the Marlins system, was going to go to Japan this season and play, and then the Red Sox made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
And a base hit into center field. Kapler on to second base. We may see a pitching change here. Live pictures from Jillian's. A couple of blocks off of Fenway Park.
They're going wicked crazy in Boston.
Well, now Ken Maka will make the pitching change to force Bill Miller to turn around and bat right-handed. 2 on, 1 out, 1-run game in the 9th. And Rincon comes on from the pen. Boston batting in the top half of the 9th inning in this game 5 of this American League Division Series. Boston 4, Oakland 3. Boston with 2 on and 1 out. Ricardo Rincon will come on from the bullpen, and Bill Miller, switch hitting third baseman, will bat right-handed, where tonight he's 0 for 2, has drawn a walk.
A little surprising as you look at the numbers for Ricardo Rincon. Ken Maka thought that if there was anyone in the pen that he hoped not to have to use, Rincon would be that guy, giving up 2 home runs in the series. Felt like he was a little overworked, a little tired, needed a night off, and yet there he is.
Miller, the American League batting champion this season, just edging out his teammate Manny Ramirez, and it's outside and low, ball 1. Both the home runs that Rincon allowed came against a left-handed batting Todd Walker. And Rincon had only allowed 1 home run over his final 33 regular season outings. Popped up into foul ground, a long run, and able to get there is Hatteberg. He had the ball, and they're saying he dropped it on the exchange, reaching in there with his hand to get it out. 2 away in the inning.
There's so much room to foul out in this stadium. If you foul a ball off as a hitter, you're thinking you will be out. Hatteberg gets all the way over there, clearly makes the catch, goes in to get it. Fans in that area trying to stay away, allowing him to make that play. Kapler trying to get a throw to third base. There's nobody in his area to hold him onto the base.
Now the left-handed batting Trot Nixon. Strike one. You're looking ahead of the A's bottom of the ninth inning. Hatteberg will lead things off, followed by Guillen, and then Ramon Hernandez. And Scott Williamson again cranking it up in the Boston bullpen.
How would you like to be a 300 hitter in the big leagues and not be the best athlete in your family? Nixon's wife finished the Boston Marathon in the year 2000 in less than 3 hours 52 minutes. Pretty good.
Real good. Rincon the look in, okays a sign with Hernandez, and now the 0-2 to Nixon. Breaking ball down and away. The Red Sox hoping to get to the American League Championship Series for the first time since 1999, and again they would be on a collision course with their long storied rival, the New York Yankees. It would begin in the Bronx on Wednesday night. Check swing and a miss, and that'll do it. So here we go. They're ready in Oakland as Williamson comes on from the pen, and they're ready in Boston. Bottom half of the ninth inning, and the Boston Red Sox with a 4-3 lead, 3 outs away from going to the American League Championship Series. And they're resting their hopes on right-hander Scott Williamson, who came over in a deal from Cincinnati, the former National League Rookie of the Year, who underwent Tommy John elbow surgery a year thereafter. Hard thrower and has been very sharp in this postseason.
Picked up a win on Saturday, throwing 14 pitches. Picked up a win, a crucial win Sunday, but threw 28 pitches in that game, back to pitch in tonight's ball game. If there's something you're looking for, it would be whether or not after the 14 pitches and 28 pitches on consecutive days, whether the velocity of the fastball is still there.
Hatteberg 0 for 2. Saw Derek Lowe and Scott Sauerbeck getting loose in the Boston bullpen. Williamson, when he's right, has electric stuff and can be at times unhittable. He does have an occasional lapse as far as his control is concerned, and Grady Little well aware of that, and quickly 2-0. Season started with a bullpen by committee playing the matchups. That was certainly talked about a great deal, and then Theo Epstein overhauled this Boston bullpen around the trade deadline. 3-0. They brought in Byung-Hyun Kim in the Shea Hillenbrand deal. Hillenbrand was a starter in Arizona this year. They moved him to the bullpen. They brought in Sauerbeck. They brought in Williamson. And there's a strike to Hatteberg. 3-1.
Williamson, sort of a drop and drive type pitcher. He gets in trouble when he rushes towards home plate. He's got to be deliberate, sit on that back leg, and drive from there to get the plane of the fastball down in the strike zone.
And he has walked Hatteberg to lead off the bottom of the ninth inning. Derek Lowe, the right-hander. Scott Sauerbeck, the left-hander. Eric Burns will come on and run for Hatteberg. Burns had 10 stolen bases in 12 attempts during the regular year.
He is the one guy on this team that can get a stolen base for this ball club. I'm not so sure that this is a stolen base situation. Burns has one stolen base in this series so far.
Well, you can run against Williamson. Now, whether or not they want to take that chance here in the bottom of the ninth is up to Ken Mocking. Quick delivery to the plate there, and it's ball one to Guillen. Of course, Jose Guillen and Scott Williamson were teammates the majority of this season in Cincinnati. And here comes Dave Wallace, the interim pitching coach, for a visit with Williamson on the mound.
This is a good move by Dave Wallace. Go out there, talk to your pitcher, settle him down. Do not let this thing get too far out of hand. You walk the first hitter, you threw another pitch to the second hitter up around the letters. Get down in the strike zone.
1918, that was the last year the Boston Red Sox won a World Series. Guess who they beat? The Chicago Cubs. 4-2. Traded away Babe Ruth, who won 2 games as a pitcher in that 1918 World Series. And many believe the curse of the Bambino has existed ever since, although they have been to 4 World Series since then, most recently in '86 when they lost the heartbreaker in 7 to the Mets. Guillen singled to center in the second inning, knocked in a run with a double to right center in the fourth, grounded to short in the sixth. We have had 3 games out of the 4 played in this series that have been won by the home team in their final at bat. Williamson very wild here. You give Guillen the green light, 2-0, or make Williamson throw a strike.
You got a chance, 2-0 with your good hitter. Let him have.
Williamson nowhere close to the strike zone.
He's taken now.
Strike. 3-1 on Guillen.
Guillen did a nice job there. 3-0. He's taken all the way, but he stood in there like he wanted to hit the ball. And I believe he was timing the pitch, acting as if it was a good pitch he'd swing, because there's a very good chance he's going to see the same pitch right here.
Tying run is Burns over at first. Nobody out in the ninth. Swung at a fastball that ran in on his hands. Not sure even if he put that ball in play he was going to do much damage with that. That had a lot of life on it.
That's nothing but a jam sandwich right there. You're lucky to foul that pitch off. If you hit it, it's a weak grounder to the left side of the infield.
Two will Burns start at first base. Held on over there by Millar. And Williamson thinking maybe Burns, if he was going, would get a wee bit anxious. Anxious, is that a word to describe the fans watching in Boston right now? And in Oakland right now. Burns running. Swinging a foul ball out of play.
Ian struck out 32 times and 170 at-bats since coming to the Oakland A's. Burns had a tremendous jump, but it's still a very risky play.
3-2, runner going again. Ball 4 up and in. Bear in mind, Scott Williamson, and you talk about playing the hot hand, Brady Little going to go get it. Williamson does not have a save wearing a Boston uniform. His 21 saves came in Cincinnati. Now they will give the ball to Derek Lowe, a one-time closer turned starter. Back-to-back walks issued by Scott Williamson with a 1-run lead to begin the Oakland bottom of the 9th inning. Boston in front by a run. And now it'll be Derek Lowe. He's pitched in 2 games in this series, 1 as a starter, the other out of the bullpen, and has been fantastic. 8 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. He did get the loss, you may remember. He has walked 6 batters in his 8 2/3 innings.
He's up there to throw sinking fastballs to try to get guys to hit this ball on the ground, try to get a double play. Hernandez in this situation very well may be bunting. Try to move runners up. It's not what the Athletics do. Just 2 sacrifice bunts on the season, all season long for Hernandez, but he did drop a pretty sweet bunt down in game 1 to win it. This not a sacrifice, just dropping it down the line because no one was paying attention to him, and they won the game.
Derek Lowe, back in the year 2000, led the American League with 42 saves. He saved 24 the following year, and then went into the starting rotation in 2002 and was a 21-game winner.
Almost ran him out of town after that year. He saved 42, struggled out of the bullpen, didn't know what to do with him, made him a starter, and he dazzled.
How ironic it would be as we take a peek into Jillian's in Boston if the Oakland A's, after arguably losing the last 3 postseasons because of their inability to play small ball, should win a series by playing small ball. They wanted to see if Hernandez would show his hand, and he was already squaring around a bunt.
They put a little wheel play on there. Both corner infielders charging. Lowe would come straight in. Garcia Parra would be the guy covering third base, and you try to get the out at third.
Ball 1.
Millar will be the infielder that will charge the hardest. Miller at third has to make the decision to come and field the bunt or stay at home. You need to bunt the ball to Miller at third.
And it is put down perfectly by Ramon Hernandez. Tying run to third. The series winning run goes to second. Boy, that is perfectly done by Hernandez.
Especially for a guy who has not had to do that often, just 2 times all season. Kept the bat head up. Made the third baseman field the ball. Textbook.
Well, now Veritek going to come out and have a quick visit with Lowe. I would imagine they are talking about walking Jermaine Dye, although now he will be taken down.
Adam Melhuse coming out, who had a great day yesterday, swinging the bat in place of Ramon Hernandez. Hernandez with a strained lower back.
Boy, game 5 last night in Atlanta, a game 5 tonight here in Oakland, and we're just in the warm-up act. The National League Championship Series starts tomorrow night here on Fox. The American League Championship Series Game 1. National League Championship Series Game 2 here on Fox Wednesday night. Melhuse made his postseason debut yesterday and had the first 3-hit game of his career. Infield in, which tells you they are not going to intentionally walk Adam Melhuse.
Which surprises me a little bit. His run doesn't hurt you. Sets up a double play. Sinker ball pitcher, you're looking for a ground ball.
Melhuse with a big base hit that sent the Athletics into this postseason. Tejada in what could be his final game as an Athletic. Rolled over foul. Sauerbeck continues to throw in the Boston bullpen, sitting on the edges of their seats in Beantown and standing and gripping Boston fans here in Oakland.
I think Grady Little does not want this game into extra innings, trying to cut this run off. I'm a little surprised they're not setting up a double play by walking Melhuse. His run doesn't mean anything. If you squirt a ball through the infield, both runners score. You cut the run off at the plate, you still win the game if you get 2 outs.
Steve, you bring up a great point, because a routine ground ball, say at the second baseman, if you're playing your infield back after an intentional walk, either a double play or at least you get a second out of the inning with a tying run to third. Here, that little roller could get through with everybody drawn in, and that's the old ball game. Fouled away. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Melhuse.
If I'm Boston's outfield, I believe I would play a little more shallow, especially Nixon in right field. Any ground ball through the infield right now scores both runners. Guillen can get a huge jump at second base because there's nobody there to really hold him. You have no chance of throwing a runner out at home where Trot Nixon's playing right now.
Strike 3 call.
Derek Lowe doing what he did so well out of the pen a couple of seasons ago for the Red Sox. Watch the pitch by pitch. Sinker down and in. Sinker again fouled off. Sinker again. That ball's dropping off the table. Goes inside. Now he just runs it in off the belt buckle. A very gutsy pitch to make in that situation, and he gets it. His ball is moving nastily right now.
Grady Little, rather than Dave Wallace, will come out and be joined by the entire Boston infield, along with a battery of Varitek and Lowe.
You have no idea how much guts it takes for a right-hander to throw this pitch. If you leave it out over the plate, it gets crushed. Look at Varitek set way up inside. Look at the movement back to the middle of the plate. Melhuse bailing out of there. You throw it right at the belt buckle of a lefty. It runs back over. Greg Maddux made the pitch famous. Many more guys are throwing it, but you better be pinpoint with it.
Now Chris Singleton. Ball 1 down and in. Singleton doubled into right field off Pedro Martinez, leading off the 8th inning. He is 5 for 20 in his career against Derek Lowe. Tying one at third, winning one at second. 2 balls and no strikes. Terrence Long has moved into the on-deck circle.
Chances are, if there's a base hit against Lowe in this situation, it's going to be a bounding ball through the infield. I don't think there's an outfield arm on the Red Sox staff that can throw anybody out at home.
Borderline strike right there, and Singleton unhappy. Lowe trying to send the Red Sox to their 6th American League Championship Series. The last time Boston got to an ALCS, we mentioned, was '99, and they lost in 5 games to the New York Yankees.
See Billy Miller at third. He's not going to let anybody drop a bunt down on him this time, although Singleton could pull it with him to the right side if he wanted for a base hit.
Slow roller up the first base line. Foul ball.
Bill Buckner, anyone? Wow. Was that dangerously close to the exact same play that we saw in '86 in the World Series? Mookie Wilson, a chopper down the line. Millar trying to get there before it went foul. Red Sox fans all over the country with their heart in their throat right now.
Well, now the Athletics down to their final out, their final strike. The tying run is at third. The series winning run stands at second. 2-2 to Singleton. 3-2 to Singleton.
Looked like he tried to throw that same pitch that he got Melhuse out with.
Lowe looks in, Singleton waving a bat, and now Derek going to back off the rubber. You do have a base open here. And Terrence Long stands in the on-deck circle. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way is ball 4, and they are loaded. Decision time now for Grady Little. Does he stay with Derek Lowe, or does he bring in the left-hander Scott Sauerbeck to face the left-handed batting Terrence Long? Long is 6 for 20 in his career, a .300 batting average against Derek Lowe. Long during the regular year, 14 home runs, 61 runs batted in. 2 for 7 in this series. Tying run at third, winning run at second. Strike 1 to Terrence Long. This Boston bullpen, solid work from Embry and Timlin in the 8th inning, getting 3 straight batters. But 3 walks, 2 by Williamson, 1 by Lowe here in the 9th. 1-1.
You will see the Boston infielders getting dirty for any ball hit their way. The only way it can hurt them is if it trickles into the outfield. With 2 outs, Guillen scores easily. That's the winning run.
Down the left field line, bending foul and out of play. So now Derek Lowe ahead of Terrence Long at 1-2, and Veritek coming out for a visit.
Derek Lowe with seasons of 17 wins this season, 21 last year as a starter. It's the biggest batter of his life.
Bases loaded, 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called, and the Boston Red Sox have come from behind, trailing 2 games to none, winning 3 in a row, and they will meet the Yankees on Wednesday night in the American League Championship Series. Back for their closer of 2 years ago to slam the door in Game 5 in the bottom of the 9th inning to beat the Athletics 4-3 and win the series 3-2.
Mike Timlin brought it up. Kevin Millar brought it to all of New England. And Derek Lowe just cowboyed up.
The Red Sox will make their 6th American League Championship Series appearance. They are 2-3 in ALCS play. They have lost their last 3 League Championship Series.
The reaction of the Boston bench, Derek Lowe. The same pitch that struck out Mel Hughes. Run it in, get it to come back.
And the celebration is on in Beantown. And I got to believe they're celebrating in New York. This is a series Yankee fans won. The series Boston fans won. Let's go downstairs and join Josh Lewin.
All right, guys, thank you. Manny Ramirez hit a laser out of here. You were just telling me your bat broke on that swing?
Let me tell you, when I was looking in, and all my time I was looking in, so he gave me a fastball right there, and I was looking right there, so I hit it out.
Filthy curveballs that you were looking at before that. You got the fastball, you hit it out, you admired it, and then you pointed to your dugout.
Well, let me tell you, he pitched a great game. He threw me a lot of nasty pitches, but you gotta give him credit. But I was looking in, and he gave me the pitch, and I went deep.
How scary was it in the 9th inning? You're standing there watching it go by. When did you know you had this game locked up?
Oh, I knew we was gonna make it, because I got confidence on my teammates.
And you got the Yankees now. You get to go to New York. You're home.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm happy. All my friends are there. All my fans. I can't wait to go out there.
Congratulations, Manny.
Thank you.
All right, Manny Ramirez had the big 3-run homer. Let's go upstairs.
And Pedro Martinez celebrating his first win of this series. Should have gotten a win in game 1 of this series. If you're looking ahead, how did the regular season series go between the Yankees and the Red Sox? The Yankees won 10, the Red Sox won 9. And whoop, there it is for the ALCS. Back again to Josh Lewin.
Tom, Jason Varitek started the comeback. Remember, Oakland had led this game. Barry Zito looked pretty good. Tell me about the home run.
I was really just trying to make him throw some pitches, and he fell behind. I had to make him go strike 1 because he really didn't have a whole lot of pitches. And fell behind 3-0, and I was just, I was really trying to work the walk, and then I got to track so many pitches, I was able to put a good one on the next one.
This is the ultimate cowboy up, isn't it?
I mean, things have been down, and Manny comes up with a humongous home run for us, and right there we get a save out of D-Lo, and that's the way this team's been all year, different people, different days.
Tell me about that 9th inning. Obviously a little tighter than maybe you'd first thought.
Yeah, we asked a lot out of Williamson to go, for a 3rd day in a row. I mean, he threw 1 inning, then 2 innings, and then ask him to go out there and do that again. But we're going to need him. And then Derek came up with 2 huge pitches, especially the first out of Mel Hughes there with the man on 2nd and 3rd.
Jason, final question for you. You were part of a Red Sox team that came back down 0-2 and won a Game 5 on the road. The only other team ever to do that, and you were on it. And it must be pretty neat deja vu right now.
Yeah, I mean, this team has been remarkable all year in our ability to never quit and never give in. And, that's a testament to everybody in that clubhouse. Everybody's had their hand in making us win games.
Good luck against the Yankees.
Thank you very much.
All right, fellas, back to you.
Great to have Josh Lewin with us tonight. The coordinating producer of Major League Baseball on Fox is Michael Weissman. Tonight's game produced by Jeff Cowan, directed by Jim Lynch. Our associate director, Larry Lancaster, our broadcast associate, Kevin Dresser, and thanks to our technical producer, Dan Rotante. The pregame show produced by Gary Lang, directed by Bob Levy, and the coordinating producer, Scott Ackerson. The studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. We're down to the final 4. The Red Sox and the Yankees in the American League as they try to end the curse of the Bambino. And in the National League, the Florida Marlins against the Chicago Cubs trying to get a World Series win for the first time since 1908. We'll have it all for you on Fox over the next 2.5 weeks. For Steve Lyons, I'm Tom Brenneman. Thanks so much for being with us. Jeannie Zalasko and Kevin Kennedy will be along from Los Angeles after these messages. See you tomorrow night.
What in the name of Babe Ruth is going on here? First, the Cubs.